Hello and welcome back to my channel, The Single Spoony Mom, where I come here to bring you information on spending, saving, and planning and living your best life. I know I've taken a pretty long break here, so if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you have seen this channel before, welcome back and thank you for sticking with me through my long break. And it is a new year coming up. So I thought that I would get started with planning my budget for the new year. And in order to do that, what I do is I focus on sinking funds. Sinking funds have gotten me through this past year a great deal. I was able to save for and purchase things that I wanted without using credit cards. And they are probably the greatest tool in my budget toolbox. So if you have never heard of a sinking fund before, basically what it is a small savings account. You could kind of think of it like that. A bunch of small savings accounts. You can keep it in cash or you could keep it in an actual savings account. And I will talk about how I keep mine in a little bit. But what they are they are for expenses that you don't normally pay every month. So expenses that come up once a year, once a quarter, once every 6 months, things like that. So Christmas would go into a sinking fund. Everything that you're going to spend on your Christmas. If you have car registration, that would go into a sinking fund. If you have, let's say, water bills or car insurance that's paid every 6 months, things like that. You save a little bit every month or every paycheck, whichever works out best for you, into that sinking fund. And then when that bill comes due or Christmas comes and it's time to buy presents, you already have that money saved up and ready to go and ready to use. Like I said, you could keep it in cash. You could pull out cash and keep it in sinking fund envelopes inside your home somewhere, in a lockbox, in a safe, wherever you choose to keep it. Or you could keep it into small savings accounts. I do know people who are able to get savings accounts as many as they want with their bank with no fees. And so what they'll do is they'll set up 12 different savings accounts for each of their sinking funds. I use a bank called Simple Bank. And what Simple is an online only banking account that charges no fees whatsoever. And it allows you to set up goals. So within that checking account, you could put money into small goals that you put a name on. So you have your Christmas goal, you have your car goal, you have your registration goal, your insurance goal, and it's all separated, but it still is able to be used as money. So if you do use Simple, I suggest that you use a checking account. You set up an account that you do not have any other money coming out of, because if, say, you use it for a subscription and you forget to cancel that subscription, then that money comes out of that account, and if there is no money in your safe to spend, as they like to call it, then it will pull from your goals. And you don't want it to do that. You want it to keep the money in your goals. So Simple is an option. Having multiple savings accounts is an option. Having one saving account is an option if you choose to and can keep up with it and know that that lump sum of money in that savings account is separated into your different sinking fund goals. So in order for you to see what I'm talking about on paper, I'm going to take you over to the table and I'm going to pull out my worksheet that I use for setting up sinking funds for the year 2021. And you'll be able to see exactly how I go through that process and what sinking funds I use, and get a better idea of how to use it. So come on over with me and we're going to talk more about sinking funds. All right, so I have got my budget planner here. I will talk more in a later video about this budget planner and how I plan on using it. But for now, I want to get straight to sinking funds. So this is my sinking fund tracker here. I get this from thebudgetmom.com. Anybody could download it. I think you just have to go to her website and put in your email address and you get access to her library of free resources, including the sinking funds savings tracker. So what I do is, in order to put it into my Happy Planner planner, I shrink it down to, I think it's 85%, and then I cut it off to fit. A Happy Planner is 7 inches along the side by 9 1/4 inches in length. So I cut it down to fit and put it into my Happy Planner, and that is what I do. So this sinking fund savings tracker will help you get together all the different goals that you want to achieve. If you have more than what's on here, you could just print out several copies. It will give you the goal amount, which you have to figure out, the due date, how many months you have to save, how much you already have saved if you have been doing sinking funds already and already have some amount saved in your sinking funds, the amount left to save, and the amount to save per month. So to get started, I have my erasable pens here. This is Parku erasable pens, which I love using. I have these in a few different colors, and I have my calculator here, and that's all I need to get started here. So my first goal that I know that I have is my son will have 1 more year of homeschool, and so I need to prepare for purchasing his curriculum. So I have the goal of homeschool. The goal amount is, this past year I spent about $500, so I expect to spend about that same amount. I'm going to put this goal amount in purple here. $500. My due date for that is, I purchase them, he starts school in August. He starts each new year in August, I should say. So I need to be ready to purchase in July, which means that I have till June to save up. So my due date is June 30th. Months to save. So starting from now, I have January, February, March, April, May, June, 6 months. And I do not have any amount already saved. I just bought a new book, and so the account is at 0. So already saved is 0. So the amount left to save is $500. and then the amount to save per month. All you do is you take your calculator and you put in the amount that you need to save. 500 divided by the number of months that you need to save. And that gives me 83. I always round up, so my amount to save per month is $85. These aren't writing as nicely as I would like them to write. Okay, $85 per month for the goal of homeschool. So my next goal is Christmas. And if you don't know me by now, we actually celebrate the winter solstice. As opposed to Christmas, we celebrate the whole 12 days, starting on the winter solstice and ending on New Year's. So I'm calling it solstice in my Sinking Fund savings tracker, because solstice day is when we actually give the gifts instead of on Christmas Day. So that is, if you're not aware, that's December 21st. So the due date that I want to have this by is November 30th. The goal amount. You are the only one that knows how much you need to spend. Some people spend $1,000, some people spend $1,500. In my family, we have a very small family, and we don't give a lot of gifts. We usually give one big gift, and I also give my son money to purchase gifts for me. So my goal amount is $400, which is the same amount that we ended up doing this year. That's $300 that goes to my son and $100 for me. And we don't usually purchase gifts for anyone outside of our family. So the months to save for that is 11, because we're going through November 30th. And a lot of times I'll have enough saved up by, say, Black Friday, which is why I have the due date as November 30th, because I'll have enough saved up by Black Friday to get a great deal on something. Also, I usually check on Prime Day for great deals. So if you want to set your due date a little bit closer, then you can do that so that you have more money saved up in case you have certain days that you like to purchase on, or if you catch a great deal someplace. That I always say buy with the deals. So we have already saved $0 because we have spent the amount. So the amount left to save is $400. And going to my calculator, 400 divided by 11 is $36, rounding up, that is $40 a month. I'm going to switch to the other color pen. So we have $85 a month for homeschool and $40 a month for solstice. The other thing that I save for in a sinking fund is travel. the money for travel from 2020 ended up going into my savings account for my emergency fund. Because of course we couldn't travel anywhere in 2020. And so I decided to fund my emergency fund to 100% as opposed to keeping that money in a sinking fund for travel. But it is possible that we will be able to go somewhere for, in 2021 later on in the year. So I am also going to save for that. And for travel, I'd like to save $500. My due date being, if we travel anywhere, it would be in September, so August 31st. So months to save, that would be August, that's 8. I have 0 already saved. The amount left to save is 500. And if I take 500 and divide that by 8, that gives $62.50, so $65. Because like I said, I rounded up. That way you get to your goal a little bit faster. Now these are the 3 goals that I have for sinking funds. I don't include, some things that you could also include are clothing. If say you have kids and you like to buy them new wardrobe in the fall for back to school, you could have a clothing sinking fund. Like I said before, you could have one for car repairs. You could have one for car registration. You could have a sinking fund for pets, for vet bills and toys and things for your pets. You could have a sinking fund for anything that you don't normally spend in your monthly budget. You could do a sinking fund for. So these are the 3 things that I have that I don't include in my monthly budget, except for the amount that is taken out and saved per month. That goes in my budget, and you will see how I do that every month very soon when I do the January budget. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas for me, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I always respond back. And if you use sinking funds and have any other tips or tricks to them, I'd love to know that as well. So thank you for watching, and see you soon.